scrap in, scrap out, scrapping all about, you know what I mean? And just basically check it. On the checks, you have to check the valve block, which is this. This controls the shear and the stamper. There's two engines, Harry.
There's not. There's not two engines, you f***ers.
1, 2.
Is that another engine?
Oh.
I didn't know there was two engines, I'm serious. Not putting that in an episode, I'm telling you. These are what it's calling your two engine.
I think you should get your dad on him. Rich is defo adopted.
Welcome to episode 13 of the Scrap King Diaries. Today we're going to show you a bit of kit that we bought that might get a bit of work out of Harry, which would be a miracle. Let's take a look. Not bad, a bit slow. Hang on, which lever is it? It's just a f***ing joke, isn't it?
Oh man. Hada!
Is that the joke over now?
That is the joke over now, yeah.
So, okay.
Should we do the actual episode now?
Yeah. No, because look, John's got no.
Oh God, we're so busy all the time.
Scrap in, scrap out, scrapping all about, you know what I mean?
Go on, John. So, Rich and I decided today we're going to address some YouTube comments, and the first one that caught our eye was, where did we get our brooms from? Now you see, Richard, this one, right, has lasted me 4 hours because I've worked that hard cleaning the yard. I've only got a 1-inch load of bristles left. You know what I mean? Trigger's broom. We get our brooms off a lovely travelling man who turns up at the yard unannounced and goes, "Do you want to buy some brooms? Do you like dags?" And
How many do you buy?
Well, he always sells us 10, but there's always 8 in the box. And that's where we get our brooms from. About once a month. Ratchet straps, gloves, anything else you need, he's got the lot.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
He's known as
John the Broom.
John the Broom, yeah. John the Broom, or his brother Gary the Glove comes on sometimes. Ricky the Ratchet. Right, on today's episode, we are going to show you the walk round daily checks we've got to do on the Taurus, so it is in tip-top nick all of the time. Processing all of the scrap as quickly as it has been puts it under a lot of pressure. We need to make sure that it's immaculate every single day so it can perform adequately to what we need. I'm going to take that remote off you and plug it into you. I said to Rich at the start of this, I said, Rich, if I get 90 minutes of you like just complete concentration, we can have this all filmed. We know what we're doing today. We know what we're doing. And all, you set a timer on your phone, didn't you?
Say again.
You set a timer on your phone.
Yes.
Well, can I have that time? So I need your undivided concentration. Can I confiscate your phone off you?
No.
I need that. Every day before we process 1 kilo of scrap, we have various checks to do over the Taurus to make sure it's running tip-top. The first one, and probably the most important one, is to make sure that the blades and the head of the machine is fully operational. That means we've got to make sure that the blades are still sharp. If you are cutting with dual blades, not only does your production go down because a blunt blade can't chop as efficiently, it also adds extra stress to the head of your machine. You want the blades to be nice and tight and sharp, and that will go through the material easily, so it comes out the machine and it's all cut lovely and just is efficient. Blunt blades don't do that. Talking of blunt blades, Rich, inside there's the blades, mate. You can also look down each side of the head and make sure that there's no leaks from the inside. Now, second check of the day, which Rich is about to show you, is...
The second check is the outside valve blocks. We'll show you now.
And then you got to stand on there and do all this bit. Right. What an athlete, man! F***ing hell! Whoa, where did that come from? Help me up. Don't be horrible to me, because my legs are actually f***ing... No, you try to let go then, look. You f***ing knob. Ah, my hamstrings, man.
Right, the second checks are, check the emergency stop is off or out. Check this is well greased. This saves wear on the shear and the head. And check there's no leaks. If there is, before you start it, we have to fix it and check the cable is intact, and just basically check it. Okay, thanks.
Much better.
Did you check the emergency stop as well? Imagine trying to start the machine and it won't start. Oh, what's going on? It's just that. What's next, Mr. Taurus?
You tell me.
I feel like I got my own back after earlier. Next is making sure that all of the side rams are clear, clean and not leaking. Taurus have designed these protective covers over each ram, which are fantastic. Because underneath there we have hydraulic hoses that are only made of rubber hose material. Processing the scrap and all the sharp objects that this machine cuts would go through those really, really easily. So fantastic bits of kit, fantastic defence. Obviously just get down, check there's no hydraulic oil leaks and make sure the pipes aren't fraying and they're all intact and still strong. Making sure that on all the moving parts, which will be the rams here, there's no scrap near them. You don't want scrap touching the rod of a hydraulic ram. If you score a hydraulic ram, it will destroy it eventually, even if it's a tiny little nick. As that nick passes through the seals, it'll erode it really, really quickly, and eventually you'll need to replace all your seals and rod in the ram. We had that done once in the Le Fort, and a small ram this big was about 9,000 quid, so that's the last thing we want to do. It's not that, it's the downtime as well. So it looks quite clean, there's a bit of scrap on top. So we'll swab this off. Out of the way. Oh.
Do you feel all right?
Shut up, Lee. Lee's gone back to vaping, so he's in a great mood for once again.
I'm just enjoying watching you do some work. Go on, finish it then.
So once all the side of the machine is clean and ready to go, we always have to check up top for another moving part, which is the hopper, and make sure. Out. I'm gonna get that out. There's no scrap. You have to climb and pull it.
You can see it, knock it through.
I know you can see it. I can see it, but I can't get it.
Climb up and just knock it through.
So things like this will have to be moved before we turn the machine on today. I'm gonna get that out.
Climb up there.
You
see
climb up there, man.
knock
What
it
am I, Spider-Man?
through. Stand on there.
You show me. Why don't you be the big brother and show your little brother how it's done? Or are you scared? It's a shame, really. You can sweep and tidy it every day, but it's never gonna look clean.
You need to jet wash it.
Needs a jet wash, yeah, on a Sunday. So the hopper, we're going to take a bit of steel off, make sure the hopper's clean and clear. You going up there?
Yeah.
You going up there, Rich?
Yes.
While Richard does that, we have to go and check the other side as well. So come with me. Oh, he's doing it. What's that ram?
Watch out.
That's my head as well.
Watch out.
Yeah. Which way are you going now?
Watch out.
Wow. Have you checked that side?
Yes. All clean, ready to go.
Sure. That side is even more important than this side because you can't see it. Let's go. I'll just double check your work.
Go on then. Just your way. On the checks, you have to check the valve block, which is this. This controls the shear and the stamper. So you double check it's all intact, no damage and no leaks. And as long as it is, then you're on to the next check.
So once we've checked all of the valve blocks and the rams on the machine, the next step is to check all of the levels, and they are located at the back by the engine bay. Actually, there's the engine, so it's around here.
There's two engines, Harry.
There's not. There's not two engines, you idiot.
1, 2.
Is that another engine?
Oh,
I didn't know there was two engines, I'm serious. Why is there two? Honestly,
just go back in the office.
I honestly did not know there was two engines.
Of course you did.
not lying, making it up. Not putting that in an episode, I'm telling you. Before the machine is turned on, the most important things to check will be the levels of the machine. You don't want to start your machine up with no oil in the engine, no hydraulic oil because that will blow the pump, and no diesel obviously. Fortunately, the new Taurus, it has a digital display that will show us all these things, but they also have their own manual ways of checking, just in case I suppose. And that screen is, bam, is it?
No, the screen's there, that's the level.
Oh right, yes, there's level. Which one's that?
That's the hydraulic tank.
So, that's right. So, for example, the manual way to check the hydraulic tank is correctly filled. There's a gauge on the side of the tank there. That'll change, won't it, when the ram's out? So you gotta make sure that the machine's up. That's a good. When you remind me of that, Rich, then I can say it.
You reminded yourself.
Yeah, but then
That is the fuel tank there, Harry.
that is the fuel tank, yeah. Another thing to check about the hydraulic level, you gotta make sure all the wings are back and the ram is back. If you want to check the level, you want to make sure that the machine is in shut-off mode, all closed up, because that'll give you an accurate level. If you've got one of the rams extended, the hydraulic level in the tank will dip, giving you a false reading. The penultimate check is just have a quick glance over the radiators, make sure there's no damage to them. These are what is cooling your two engines on the shear, so you want to make sure that these are working efficiently. The last thing you want to do is for these to be damaged and heat the machine up so much the engines eventually blow up, which happened to us on the last Lefort, which was very expensive. So these are paramount to keep on good form. What's next, Rich?
Does anyone out there do catching lessons for our kid?
I dropped the ball once in rugby. We're doing a nice little move, number 10, yeah, inside centre me, and I was going to run straight behind him, catch the ball to score a try. I dropped it. Bad pass though, it was up here. It was, man.
Right there.
Nah. Two big chests, you know what I mean?
Oh, kind of gloves you need.
Why?
Can't catch. How many times Saturday? 2 or 3?
Once, man.
At least twice.
Once.
You keep the area of frustration the second time.
No chance, no chance. And the last thing to do, man, I want to get in there. Hell. Oh, lovely. It's a good bit of kit, this is, Jay. Nice bit of metal stick for this job. You know what I mean? You see though, all these bits down here, over time, if you didn't clean it out every day, would build up and eventually either stop your ram coming back all the way, which would then tell the sensors it's not back, which wouldn't open the wings. See, I know what I'm talking about. Just because I don't drive the shear every day doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Nice. We're in. Swapping tools now, scraper. So that is how you clean out behind the ram. There is a chute there, a waste chute. All the dirt can pull through away from the machine, which will over time allow this to freely pass forward and backwards and cause no damage going forwards or backwards. Oh, I mean, that was good, that was. So just to address another comment, be careful what you wish for. I am now in the crusher, but even the mighty 1100 ton Taurus is just not strong enough to dent my ego. In the right, Rich? And then before we turn the machine on, there's one more thing to check. Yeah, the Taroni sticker's still on there. Right, come on then, let's get cutting. Can you do the door? I mean, Nan has to touch these handles, man. I can't get her all dirty, you know what I mean? Think on. Oh, there's another door. So you might be wondering why we're sat here. Huh? Come on.
No,
Get it right.
You're about to terrible, you are.
Am I?
Yeah. So you might be wondering why we're sat here. Lee is going to read some home truths out and go through the YouTube comments. Only read a few of them.
Is this YouTube channel just to give Harry something to do?
Yeah.
A spare part
or scrap parts in that yard. Get the impression no one else in that yard is interested in filming.
That's a bit
Well,
harsh.
the viewer is very right. I'm not too keen on filming, and it gives something Harry to do once a week.
Don't be horrible like that, man. You enjoy it.
I actually do. When it's filming day, you do move quite fast.
Yeah.
Change for the 6 days. I do work hard when you off.
When?
Hi guys, West Coast Metal Recycling, LLP from British Columbia, Canada here.
Ooh.
We are looking at the Taurus for our yard and wondering what kind of tonnage you are pushing through each day. I know what Taurus tells us, but want to know what the machine actually does in the real world. Appreciate any info you can provide. Thanks.
That's a very, very good question. But it all depends on what material you're putting through it. If you're putting through girders and heavy scrap, it will do 50 plus ton an hour, easily. If you're doing light material, you'll be doing less. Simple as that, really. Also depends on how quickly your material is coming into the yard. We've been steady this week, so we're actually struggling to feed it. It processes our scrap faster than we ever thought it could do. So we're very, very impressed. I do think what Taurus says is true, after owning it for a few months now.
I can't recommend Taurus highly enough. It's a fantastic machine.
What an answer.
I know, that was like political, that wasn't it? Honestly, I'll be number 10 soon, I will.
Doing what?
Running the country.
Running the what?
Country.
Country?
I went to private school. These things just happen to people like me. I'll just be in number 10 before I know it.
Yeah.
Come on, carry on.
God help us. Right, anyway, to the orange. I see a tap wagon by me full with old microwaves and washing machines. How do you know what people are dropping? You can't pay for the concrete in washers and the glass, plastic in microwaves.
That's why it's classed as light iron, because that's the grade.
Yeah. The price of light iron takes consideration of the contaminants in those items, which is why you'll only be getting £210 a tonne, not 230.
What about the concrete?
That's why you're expecting a 5% wastage.
Because if I was a tap, I'd fill mine full of concrete.
Yeah, but then that's why Pete's there to check, and then we'll clock you. We'll let you weigh in.
As they're leaving.
We'll let you weigh in, and then we'll deduct half a tonne off your load.
5.
I wouldn't let you in.
When everyone's rushing around to go home.
We'd only do it once, and then you're banned.
True. Okay. The father spends his life building the firm. These two jump behind candy camera and want to act big shots around the place.
These two or these one?
Don't.
That's Harry, those.
I would actually say, not because you say it, I would actually say yes.
Well,
It's just one.
What do you mean, man? No.
You love spending.
Impossible. I'm good at it though. I'm good at bringing the stuff in.
Buy
I've sold it. I've took 100 quid a tonne out of 25 tonne. Bang.
very quickly.
Yeah, but I've earned loads of money off it.
don't
So
be aggressive.
I work smart, not hard. You know what I mean? Also, just FYI, all them people saying that, the industry has changed a lot in the last 60 years since Dad has started, and the modern opinions and ideas that we bring to the table is what will keep our company going forward for future generations. Otherwise, you could find that some old scrapyards around the country are being left behind at the minute.
And we're not one of them.
We are not one of them. We are leading the way.
Pioneer, you're a pioneer.
We're a pioneer. So like, if you were a pirate ship, right? You'd be captain and I'd be Jack. You'd be Sparrow.
You'd be very good at the Prime Minister, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because you can talk some.
Yes. Being number 10, can't wait.
Yeah, here's another. Richard, you could never look like a prat. We leave Harry to be that, you my friend, and the main. This don't even make English sense. Huh?
So we can get the gist though.
Richard, I'll say it.
We get the gist.
Richard, you could never look a prat. We leave Harry to be that, you my friend, is the main reason we watch this show.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
No,
I do appreciate it. And we all know Harry's a prat. But we all bear our crosses, don't we? And don't worry, I just
Touch me, you pervert.
You brat.
I think you should get your dad on him. Rich is defo adopted. I feel right saying these things, Will. Yeah?
Just got no comment for that.
Are you adopted? Well, Dad can't really grow a beard, and I can't either, but look at that full head of hair you've got.
You look my master shave every morning.
Come on.
You are a beetroot.
Who? Well, that's it.
That's it.
Fucking hell, we've got some weird subscribers, man.
Beetroot, you're a beetroot.
Okay.
Rich, you're a beetroot.
Lovely, thank you very much. Nice.
Yeah?
It's better than being called a prat or a cabbage.
The big brother is such a fanny.
I agree.
And Harry, you shouldn't laugh really because your nose will get done again. Right, let's.
All strange, isn't they?
Yeah, I've just sent you one, Lee.
Hey, it's lucky Richard's dad is the gaffer, or he'd be stocking shelves at Asda. And even that might be too taxing for him.
Okay.
It's alright, mate, it's fine.
Who sent that in?
We'll find it.
I'll find it straight away, that's my favourite comment. It's called Dibla. Look at Dibla.
Well.
It's looking stuck in shells as no, I think that's cruel, I do. I think that's cruel. At least waitress.
Will it crush Harris' big head?
No, I explained this earlier at the start of the episode that Taurus is not powerful enough to crush my ego. No.
Oh, is this you? I'm confused. Right, okay. Yeah, I don't think that. It hasn't got enough weight in it, has it? Watching Rich and waiting for him to freeze and forget his script. Watching Harry and waiting for the inevitable accident to happen.
I've never caused an accident.
They're right
You've
about the
never
script.
froze, have you?
Right, no.
What?
He's never frozen in front of the camera.
Anyway, use the nice comments because I'm really close to retiring.
Yeah.
I buy loads of stuff, man. I know what you're all moaning about.
I know.
We know.
What's this shit?
What's it?
Don't be sure.
Stuff that you can buy.
How come you're getting so aggy very quickly like what's
Because, like, I'll tell you what.
It's the steroids, isn't it?
It's steroids, because he has like...
It's the roids,
I
isn't
go
it?
to the gym every day, but I'm not doing roids.
Is that why, is it too much pressure for you?
What, is the roids?
Work and then playing at the end of the day?
Probably, yeah. It's a lot, yeah. We're doing 12-hour days, and then I just go and train, and then got to give my missus 2 minutes, and it's hard work, isn't it?
Don't show off.
Show off. You don't show off.
2 minutes.
Last question, Harry, is leave the yard.
Who?
Or you?
What, mate?
Because I do the work.
No chance, mate. Without me, I'm the entertaining side of the show.
It's not the show, it's the work, it's the yard.
No, but you ever seen that show on TV where it's like how it's made? It's just boring as That's what your show would be like without me.
There's no arguing with that, I know it would be.
Oh. Okay then. Fine, bad enough.
See ya. Last time we went on holiday, we didn't even know he'd gone until 3 days later. Really?
No.
Well, that's it then, Lee. You can have your spot now. No worries. Well, thanks for watching. See you next week. Like, share, and subscribe. And leave loads of comments about Harry, please. Nasty ones.
Ask the question, see if he'd be good as Prime Minister.
Tommy, come with me. Come with me.
What for?
We've got to go and fight the keyboard warriors. Oi, all you keyboard warriors, you're getting it. Let's go.
Welcome to episode 13.
Watch out.
Today's going to be a good episode. We've got a new piece of kit in the yard, which we'll show you now. Go on then.
Well, you've got to say.
Do a bit more. So welcome to episode 13 of the Scrapking Diaries. And then we've got a new piece.
Ready? Right. Welcome to episode 13 of the Scrap King Diaries. Today we're going to show you a new piece of kit we got that might help get some work out of Harry. Any work out of Harry would be nice. Here we go. Come on then, do some
No, you've
sweeping.
got to say. F me, man. I'm not telepathic. If you start doing that, I don't know when you're doing it.
Oh, if it's pan round here, just f***ing start
I'm looking
sweeping.
over there, and I.
Come and stand a bit closer to him when you do it.
Welcome to episode 13 of the Scrap King Diaries. Today we've got a new piece of kit to show you, which it's supposed to get some more work out of Harry, which will be a miracle if it does. Let's see if it works.
Hang on, you weren't stationary when I'm hunting.
So, every day before we process 1 kilo of scrap, we need to do a certain amount of checks on the love. Ready? You might be wondering why we're sat here. We're about to answer and go over some of the comments that you guys have been leaving in our YouTube videos. So, we've got a glamorous assistant with us, known as Lay. Lee, would you like to come closer? Lee, come closer. Lee, go back. Bingo, bingo.
Where do you want me?
Gala bingo.